Department of English, Guru Nanak College, takes immense pleasure to welcome all the participants on the fourth day of the 5-day International FTP on examining critical frontiers in social sciences domain. As a ground rule, I request each and every participant to kindly mute your audio and video and also invite you to join us with a college prayer for the college prayer. Ma'am? Now, may I request the most approachable and a dynamic personality, our Vice Principal, Shift to Dr. N. Rajashri Madam, for the welcome address.
Good afternoon, everyone. Um, Welcome to our resource person of today. Namaste, sir. E. Ram Ganesh, sir, who has kindly consented to be the resource person of today's program, the 5-day International Faculty Development Program, on the paradigm shift from Pedagogy 1.0 to Pedagogy 4.0 to address Industry 4.0. Sir, I'm extremely happy to see this title which you have selected to give. It is the requirement of this second, I should say, and I'm really happy to share that this is what is required, and we need to engage ourselves in such things. Thanks for accepting our invitation and being here. My welcome are due to our beloved secretary and correspondent, Sardar Manjit Singh Nayyar ji, our principal, our dynamic and ever enthusiastic and supportive principal, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, and all the deans of schools, deans of academics, deputy deans, and all those who are eagerly waiting to attend this program, those who are from outside. I see a lot of new faces. Definitely, one thing I can assure you is that at the end of the program, you will be enriched and you will get what you wanted. So, thank you so much for coming all the way for this program. And my special congratulations to Dean School of Humanities and their entire dynamic and very energetic team, I should say. They conceived and they are on. So that is the spirit with which they work. Congratulations, Malati ma'am, and your entire team. I also congratulate the students who are helping you out because this is a way to learn. So in a few months from now, they will all be going. You are involved with students, great, nothing like that. And all the heads of departments coming under the School of Humanities and all the school deans. It's my pleasure to invite you all for this program. This is going to be helpful for everybody and the beneficiaries will be students. Thank you so much, sir, Ram Ganesh, sir. And please visit whenever time permits. Please visit our campus. We'll be very happy. This is the invitation on behalf of Guru Nanak College. I'm placing on to you on behalf of management, our secretary, and our principal. I'm placing this. We would love to see you coming in person and giving these lectures to our teachers. So, with these few words, like everybody in the team, I am also eagerly waiting because teaching is very, very close to my heart and I'm going to learn something new. With this enthusiasm, I thank everyone for the opportunity. Good luck. So, as usual, go ahead and do it. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm words of welcome. Thank you, ma'am. Now, may I invite Dr. Malati ma'am, Assistant Professor and Dean Humanities, to introduce the chief guest of the fourth day of the 5-day International FDP program, Dr. E. Ram Ganesh, Professor of Educational Technology and Director, IECD, Bharatidasan University. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Ilanange ma'am. Thank you very much. The most respected and high profile resource person of today, Dr. Ram Ganesh, Professor and Coordinator of UGC SAP, DRS2, Department of Educational Technology, Bharatidasan University. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome you, sir. Next, the most honorable and dynamic Secretary, General Secretary and Correspondent of our college, Mr. Manjit Singh Nayyar, respected, ever motivating principal, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, former principal and mentor and guide of our Guru Nanak College and advisor for management, Dr. Malin Morais ma'am, vice principal, Dr. Rajashri ma'am, LRS Kalanidhi ma'am, Dean Academics, Deans of various schools, Controller of Examination, HODs of different departments, faculty members of our college and other colleges, Tamil Nadu and other states also. Good afternoon, one and all present here. My heartiest and warm welcome to one and all present here. Really, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our high-profile resource person, Dr. E. Ram Ganesh. Sir did MA in philosophy and psychology also, MSc mathematics, and double PhD, one on education and the other one on computer science. This itself shows that the science stream and the arts humanities stream, how he is combining these two, and he is becoming an expert that we could understand his capabilities and abilities also, academic abilities. Then, since our resource person is high profile person, we can see our esteemed resource person's academic position in two different ways. One is internal academic position and another one is external academic position. When we see the internal academic position, from 2005 to 2008, Sir was a leader in the Department of Education Technology, Bhatitasan University. From 2008 to 11, Sir was working as associate professor. From 2011 to till date, Sir is extending his service as a professor. From 2011 to 13, Sir played a major important role as director, college and curriculum development cell. From 2013 to 14, Sir was elevated as registrar FAC and the coordinator for UGC SAP, and DRS2 in the same Bhatitasan University. From 2016 to 19, Sir was a chair, School of Education and director FAC, UGC Human Resource Development Center in Bhatitasan University. From 2015 to till date, Sir has been working as a director in curriculum development cell. And from 2018 to till date, working as he's rendering his extreme services, wonderful services as a director, FAC, DTU, Kaushal Kendra. From 2018 to till date, Sir is a director, FAC, Institute for Entrepreneurship and Career Development and IECT. See, this much of services at a time in different institutions, in different domains, I think Sir only can give. Thank you very much, Sir, to accept this thing. Then next thing, external academic positions. When we see that, from 2018 to 19, Sir was an adjunct professor in National University, Malaysia. From 2020 to till date, Sir is a working professor in Avinashalingam University for Women, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. The other responsibilities, other than this academic responsibilities, some other academic responsibilities also Sir is having. Sir is a member for IPSC Bharathidasan University, nodal officer for 10 constituent colleges of Bharathidasan University, coordinator for the establishment of 10 curriculum development cells, and our resource person has received more number of national awards. Some only I could say just because of this time constraint. Shiksha Ratan Puraskar Award. And the second one, the Best Citizen of India Award. LEAD, that is Leadership for Academicians Program Award. Mastermind Award for provided training for 1,09,406 students through the skill development program in 2017 to 18. And in the same way, every year, Sir is getting Mastermind Award for providing the skill development program for the students. Especially the skill development program is the need of the hour. Because even after this pandemic period, everyone is in need of that. Even every child or every student, one who is in higher education, everyone is in need of that. So we are giving a great salute to you, Sir, for providing this many number of students that you have given the skill development program. And in 2019-20, Sir has got the same Mastermind Award for provided training for 1,40,422 students through the skill development program. Then Sir has handled several projects. UGC project, ICSSR project, state government projects, that is Tamil Nadu government projects, and UGC SAP projects, totally more than 1 crore 5 lakhs that he has received only for the projects. And then Sir had organized 7 international conferences and 9 national conferences and 33 workshops. Sir has given 622 keynote lectures. Under his able guidance, PhD degree was awarded to 16 scholars and 7 scholars yet to be awarded. For 34 scholars, MPhil degree was awarded. Adjudicated more than 100 theses in languages and social sciences. Conducted 100 vivacious examinations. Salute, sir. A great salute to you, sir. He has published 29 articles in national journal and 54 articles in international journal. Sir served as an expert in several selection committees and so on. Due to time constraint, if I want to say the full picture of the profile of our resource person of today, I need one day, the whole day I need. Just because of this constraint, time constraint, I'm just reducing only the glimpse only I have given. So I have to say is full profile, but the time is not there. So that I'm just reducing it. Such a meritorious person is going to give a lecture on paradigm shift in pedagogy 1.0 to 4.0 to address industry demand 4.0. We all know very well that the teaching and learning methodologies are changing from ancient period to till period. And that sir is given in a technological term and in detail. He is an expert in that. So we need to get to know that from 1.0, that is teacher-centric system. 1.0 is a teacher-centric system that we all know. From the teacher-centric system, how it has gone to student-centric system. So sir is going to explain very clearly. And in pedagogy too, the communication and collaboration has started in the educational system. Examination-based approach has started. So we gave importance for teaching, but not bothered about the learning level. That also we should think about it. So that we went for a third one, 3.0 student-centric approach. In the student-centric approach, teacher is transformed into coordinator, facilitator, and lesson plan has transformed to learning plans. So these are all the changes that we have made just because of like our resource person. So many people have changed this type of dramatic changes in the teaching and learning process. In 4.0, learning can take place whenever and wherever is needed. Learning is needed, especially the developed personalized teaching and learning also they have developed. Lesson plan are called as creativity plans. Developing cloud education, that is the most important one. And since sir has finished that PhD in computer science also, I think you are an expert to explain this 4.0, especially the industrial demand, sir. So we all know that how much we have developed in higher education, but still how to improve ourselves according to present and future demand for industrial side, from the industrial side. Now, I assure you that from our today's resource person, Dr. E. Ram Ganesh, sir's lecture, we, from this lecture, we are all going to equip ourselves and improve the quality of higher education. Each and every one of us are going to get benefit out of this lecture, and we are going to implement whatever the benefit that we got, the same thing that we are going to transfer it to our students. Definitely we will do it, sir. Thank you very much, one and all present here. With this, I'll over to Ilanangai madam.
Thank you, ma'am, for having introduced our eminent chief guest of a for the fourth day of the 5-day international FTP program. And today's topic, the paradigm shift from pedagogy 1.0 to Pedagogy 4.0 to address Industry 4.0. Dear participants, I believe we are well prepared uh, with a paper and pen to jot down the valuable inputs from our chief guest, Dr. Ram Ganesh, to unlearn what we have in stock and to relearn and to fine tune us so that it would be beneficial both for ourselves and for the students. Sir, the time is all yours. Please, sir.
Thank you all for overwhelming welcoming to be part of this faculty development program. Most distinguished principal, vice principal, the IPSC coordinators, especially Dr. Malati, who invited me to be part of it, and learned participants, teacher participants from different parts of the country, friends. Good afternoon to all of you. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be part of the international faculty development organized by Guru Nanak College, Chennai, you know, which is set to provide different insights to the teachers of present scenario so that they would be able to help students to win the confidence of the system. I think this sort of initiatives is very imperative in order to make teachers get updated with recent developments. Here the topic is the paradigm shift from pedagogy 1.0 to pedagogy 4.0 to address the industry 4.0. I think education is a powerful engine that would really help us to understand the needs of the people so that we would be able to rise up to the occasion. Education has power to extend our qualities, what nature has endowed with us. And in fact, we are all very fortunate to be teachers, especially because we have got very big responsibility on our shoulder to groom youngsters, especially because youngsters are powerful resources of this country who can really address the national agenda and national goals. And the country needs to establish Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India, where youngsters have to play a very important role, paramount role. In that way, we teachers are very fortunate to hone up the skills of youngsters. We deal with youngsters, and youngsters are very, very powerful resources. And but for the youngsters, sometimes we would not be able to achieve what we could achieve. Maybe that is one of the reasons why a great intelligent monk, Swami Vivekananda, and great eminent leader, a scientist and educationist, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, invested their invaluable time to groom youngsters. You know, Swamiji said, you give me 100 youngsters who have nerves of steel and muscles of iron, mind like a thunderbolt, I can transform India number one in the world. Because we have got great youngsters with great potential. I always, glorify youngsters of this country because the whole world is growing older, but India is becoming younger and younger. That is the reason the whole world is looking at India right now. Because India has got largest youngsters. I think statistics confirm 50 to 55% of our population are youngsters from 18 to 23. So in that way, we have largest youngsters in the world, And when we make these youngsters human resources to this country, not only to this country, even for other countries, because India is a country which supplies human resources to world. And can you just spot out any country in the international map without the contribution of Indians from Niagara to Nigeria? Certainly we cannot do it because Indians are sprawling across the globe and they have been, addressing the demands of the world. So in that way, we teachers, have to shoulder a mammoth responsibility in grooming youngsters to address the national agenda. Because we have to build self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. And India aspires $5 trillion economy in the near future by 2025. That's what statistics. So the report says. So another couple of years, India has to become $5 trillion economy. So our economy must be incremental. I think Dr. Maladi can explain because he is a teacher of economics. So our economy must be incremental. And that is the reason the first Prime Minister of independent India, Sri Jawaharlal Nehru ji said, but for quality education, the economic growth and social transformation would not be feasible to India. So these two are the important factors, economy and social transformation. And sometimes you see we call the United States of America as a superpower country. They have got 1/5 of population what we have. Population of United States maybe 30 to 36 crores, but we have got 137 crore. Why superpower country? Because that these two predominant parameters which play an important role. That is economy and social transformation. So friends, I think Guru Nanak College is one of the reputed institutions in Chennai. I know, because I have been to different institutions. I think even this SIET and Stella Maris. I think I have got an opportunity to be part of the initiatives organized, faculty development organized by Guru Nanak. So very important for all of us to take cognitions that we love to groom these youngsters to address the economy. That is very important. So what do we do? First of all, the real education, if you just ask me, I would say the real education is to help the younger ones to become what they love to become. That's very important. That kind of pedagogy I would like to suggest. Let me call it critical pedagogy, which helps the younger ones to become what they love to become. Because every youngster has got a winner within them waiting to be unleashed. You can't just undermine any youngster in this country. And our country, is known for its repository, the repository of knowledge and repository of culture, what we have. So the whole world is looking at this country because India is the country which introduced university to the world. You know that? Taxila, Nalanda, Taxila, 7th century BC. Taxila, Nalanda, Vikramshila, Vallabhi. And these institutions produced great scholars. If you believe me, India is known for its higher education system. And if you go through the history of these great institutes, you would be wondering to find that people from other countries came down to India for the pursuance of higher education. So India is a forerunner, and that is the reason I'm there. Higher education or education is the passport. Education is the passport for exhibiting their potential. And we take care of the education of youngsters. We teachers take care of the education of youngsters. It is a very good opportunity for us, a very important opportunity for us, a responsibility of us to go groom youngsters actually. So in that way, higher education institutions have to play a very prominent role. UNESCO came out with certain observations. For example, there must be a paradigm shift from state controlled system to open market economy. State controlled system to open market economy. So the state controlled system must be tuned to open market economy, because our students must be able to win the confidence of the employer or the system. So our students must be trained. That's what UNESCO comes out with an observation. And as somebody, by Dr. Malati and Dr. Lamange recollected, that there must be a paradigm shift from teacher-centered learning to learner-centered learning. Gone are those days, teacher was an expert, and now student is an expert. I don't know. You see, normally, I am extremely happy because I interact with the teachers of the present scenario. But as a NAC peer team member coordinator, and chairperson, I have visited almost all the states except Kashmir. I have accredited a lot of institutions in that way. Whenever I go to higher learning institutions, whether it is university or a college, they always, glorify teachers in the past. There is no doubt about it. We have to glorify Shri Guru Nanak Ji. We have to glorify Jesus Ji. We have to glorify Lord Krishna. There is no doubt about it. Dronacharya or Bhishma. We have to glorify teachers in the past. Even our own teachers. Sometimes we glorify our own teachers. Nothing wrong in it. But unfortunately, it is heard that they decry teachers in the present. Sometimes they say, gone are those days we had very good teachers. Those cannot be replaced by teachers in the present. So they start glorifying the teacher in the past. There is no second thought in it. I would like to sail in their boat. But they decry teachers in the present. I differ with them because when Sri Moraji Desai ji was the Prime Minister of India, he called upon people, a great leader. I have high regards. People have high regards for him. Prime Minister himself called upon people to skip a meal a day because the country was not able to supply paddy to or food 3 times for the people. And he called upon people to skip a meal. You know that. Friends, I tell you, today we have surplus grains and rice. And we sometimes export our crops to some other countries. So what does it show? The youngsters are doing very well. The young teachers are doing very well. Whether they are replacing the past teachers past, they are doing very well. That's what I wanted to say. So, implement or embed or integrate in the classroom is delivering its goods. That's what I wanted to say. And we have surplus things to send it across to different countries. So, therefore, what I mean to say, we teachers have to play a very important role. That is why the great leader, the past Prime Minister, then Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi ji, said once, if I am asked to hand over this country, I will hand it over to a teacher. She said. You know that? If I am asked to hand over this country, I will hand it over to a teacher. She did not say, I will hand it over to a bureaucrat or a ISRO chairman. She said, I will hand it over to a teacher. So, classroom is a powerful engine where you can just make people to be more meaningful. Classroom. That is why the former chairman of UGC, a great educationist, Professor D.S. Kothari, Kothari Commission report. Most of you have read Mr. Kothari, Professor D.S. Kothari, former chairman of UGC. You know, when he submitted his Kothari Commission report, Higher Education Commission report, to Government of India, you know, the first sentence of his report, a beautiful sentence, I would like to recollect. The beautiful sentence is, the destiny of India is being shaped in her classroom. The destiny of India is being shaped in her classroom. See, first sentence of his report. So the destiny of India is being shaped in her classroom. So classroom matters. The pedagogy happens in the classroom. Therefore, UNESCO says there must be a paradigm shift from teacher-centered learning to learner-centered learning. Another, it's observation. PowerPoint I have not shown. Maybe I'll show the PowerPoint. I thought of giving you introduction and then introducing the PowerPoint. But anyhow, people really want PowerPoint. Okay, let me introduce PowerPoint for one time. Okay. So, friends, now I would say, the UNESCO observations from teacher-centered learning to learner-centered learning, and a shift has to happen from general education to education driven by forces, market forces. So the curriculum must be revamped according to the change of the society. Why? Because as our Kaniyan Pungundanath, the great poet in Tamil, he says, Yadam Ure Yavaram Kelir. What does it mean? Yadam Ure Yavaram Kelir. That means perhaps you students must be prepared not only to meet the demands of the country or subcontinent, but also demands of the world. Because everybody is my brothers and sisters. And that is the reason our youngsters go abroad, and share their great potential for being at the service of the global world. So in that way, there must be a shift from paradigm shift from general education to education driven by open market forces. And there must be a shift from one-time education to lifelong education. This is very, very important. And then I will get into the PowerPoint. One-time education to lifelong education. Friends, we must understand what is lifelong learning. The best model, Mr. Raghuram Rajan, the former governor of Reserve Bank of India, in one of his IIM address, he said, he has taken NUS, that is National University of Singapore, as one of the best models for lifelong learning. You know why? Every student in NUS used to be there for at least 10 years in the campus. 10 years getting in touch with the campus. In the sense, they won't be there in 10 years. Suppose, for example, 4 years they complete their degree and they go to the job, and if at all they have to update, the updation is available in the campus, NUS. But this is not happening in Indian higher education institution. So I call upon Indian higher education institutions to be lifelong learning centers. That's why UNESCO calls upon. So you must have all these things in your mind to conceive the idea of pedagogy 1.0 to pedagogy 4.0 to address 4.0, industry 4.0. That's what I wanted to say. But time, you know, is very short. Okay, I thought I can just get it to the PowerPoint with this small introduction, because unless the introduction is given sometime, we may not be able to value it. You see, the very famous Western philosopher, John Dewey, if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow. So what happens? Yesterday tools cannot be used for today, and today tools cannot be used for tomorrow. Therefore, teacher is expected to be resourceful, and teacher provides news to the people, and teacher is a person who updates them with recent development. So if you teach today's students as we taught yesterday, we rob them of tomorrow. Friends, I tell you, gone are those days when I was a student of graduation, when the vice principal was student of graduation. Teacher was the only source of information, because we did not have much technologies to leverage. And whatever teacher said was Veda to us, was Bible to us. But now they have got plenty of other teachers. They've got TV teacher, internet teacher, e-content teacher, Swayam teacher, EDX teacher, Coursera teacher, MOOC platform teacher. So they've got so many teachers, and you become one of the teachers, the classroom teachers or subject teachers. Now what happened? Gone are those days, teacher was the only source of information, and now teacher has become one of the sources of information. That is the difference. That's a paradigm shift. So therefore what happened? We are able to experience a very big paradigm shift from brick institution to click institutions. You know, Sebastian Thorne, the CEO of Udacity, a MOOC platform, a very famous MOOC platform, Sebastian Thorne, he is a CEO. What he says, for another couple of decades, the world will have only 10 higher education institutions to cater the needs of the higher education. Only 10 institutions will exist. Only 10 institutions will exist. India itself, we have got 864 universities, more than 45,000 colleges, including Guru Nanak College. Now, Sebastian Thorne says, a very famous MOOC platform, Udacity, he says another couple of decades, we have only 10 higher education institutions in the world. So what would happen? Click institution. There will be a shift from bricks institution to click institution. Now, Bharatidasan University is a brick institution. Now, Bharatidasan institution has to be transformed into click institution or brick come click institution to win the confidence of the stakeholders. So in that way, now we have to update. See, during the lockdown, even today, I am so happy Vice Principal invited me to come to Guru Nanak College in person. I am so happy, Madam, for your invitation. But now you see, we meet, we exchange our ideas only through virtual manner. Virtually we meet. So what I mean to say, click institutions are going to dominate. So we have to be prepared. So we need to have different pedagogy or pedagogy. Both the pronunciation are good. So we need to conceive a different pedagogy, because students are intelligent. Students are digital natives, and teachers are digital immigrants. You know, students are digital natives. They have already mastered high-profile technology. And we teachers start learning high-profile technology. So we teachers are digital immigrants. And you students are digital natives, especially your college is Chennai, cosmopolitan city. So your students are digital natives. So giving them news is not your cup of tea or my cup of tea, unless I am committed, unless I have out of box thinking. Sometime I would not be able to rise up to the expectations of the students of Chennai. So in that way, now we have got to update. So what are the key elements of a pedagogical design? Well, I think you know pedagogy. Pedagogy simply, if you want me to say, something is taught and how it is learned by students. That is pedagogy. So science of something is taught and how it is learned by students. Or I would say science of teaching. I would say pedagogy, science of teaching. So many definitions. Okay, if you ask me to define, I can just explain in a different perspective, but this is important. I think the pedagogy, the pedagogical design must take cognizance of the learning needs is very important. Whom I talk, whom I deliver goods. So pedagogy is not constant. Please try to understand me. That is why sometimes I call instructional design. Pedagogical design as instructional design. So now it keeps changing. It keeps changing according to the world, how it changes. So learning needs must be taken cognizance. Public target. What is the target that we accomplish? What are the learning objectives in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, in terms of character, in terms of metacognition? Then you have got to choose the content, how it is going to be transacted, and how to measure the outcomes. All these things you'll have to keep it in your mind before you understand pedagogy, before you develop pedagogical design. Because designing a pedagogy is not everybody's cup of tea. And we need to really research it. We need to read a lot. We need to research a lot. And we need to integrate the ideals that we get it out there in the world. So in that way, the key elements must be taken cognizance actually. I think we have come across the pandemic pedagogy. Couple of years, we were in lockdown, and sometimes we were afflicted with the outbreak, the pandemic outbreak or the COVID outbreak, and we embraced different platforms, online platforms, whether it is Zoom or Teams or Zmeet, Cisco, Skype, or other MOOC platforms. But no solution provided things can be done with limited internet facility. And our Indian statistics was revealing that 47, at least 50 to 55% of students could not afford to leverage internet facilities. So what happened to them? Perhaps Chennai, you would have not come across this problem, and we came across this problem. And the pandemic pedagogy, I think we will have to understand the critical pedagogy. That means the parents have to play a very important role. And we need to guide the parents, we need to coach the parents to be invigilator of their children. And parents sometimes had to take up a lot of homework. Why? Because all the children could not afford to leverage internet facilities. So, therefore, we need to understand this area, and we must try to understand the education 4.0. A desired approach to learning that align itself with the emerging fourth industrial revolution. So shifting learning content and experiences towards the needs of the future. We are already in the era of Industry 4.0 revolution. So why I am targeting Education 4.0? Because we need to design Pedagogy 4.0 today. So this Pedagogy 4.0 is very imperative for us to concretize the Education 4.0, because unless Pedagogy 4.0 does away, you cannot operate the Education 4.0, which is set to address Industry 4.0. Friends, the Industry 4.0, the technology is going to be the game changer. The technology is going to be the game changer. But for leveraging high profile technology, we would not be able to address 4.0 revolution. You see, IoT is going to play an important role. Cloud computing, fog computing, edge computing, big data, artificial intelligence, AR, VR, immersive technology, mobile. So these technologies are going to play a very important role in Industry 4.0 revolution. When you are a student of English, of Ilamangai, and student of economics of Dr. Malati, do not leverage the ample technologies, they would not be able to rise up to the expectations of Industry 4.0. So this is very, very important. That is the reason the National Education Policy wants to introduce STEM education, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Why? Because they have to address Industry 4.0 revolution. So we have to prepare our students to address the system. Not only make them employee, but also entrepreneurship. Even entrepreneurship, they have got to tie up with industry. And they need to have the knowledge of technology. So Industry 1.0, perhaps we have mechanization. Industry 2.0 may be electronics, mass production through electrical energy. And Industry 3.0, maybe we started using internet. And what we are in the fourth industry revolution, we are in internet, intelligent information society. We are in intelligent information society. I'm going to explain intelligent information society, where the fourth industrial revolution leads to intelligent information society and digital information. That is the reason the 5G wireless network, which is 280 times faster than LTE, the lower technical environment, and 70 times faster than 4G. That's what this is. Friends, through Industry 4.0, why we are giving much importance to Industry 4.0? Because it is a very, very important task for the academia to address the SDG 4.0, that is Sustainable Development Goals. Global goals, 17 goals are already listed. From no poverty, zero hunger, quality education, gender equality. So in that way, we need to try to leave a legacy for the world, legacy to the youngsters. As you know, this Suprato Baxi, the chairman of the Mind Free organization, he says, people ask him what is a success. He says, the success is to establish, or is to have the ability to establish a legacy and leave it to the youngsters. So 17 SDG goals are very important. See, simply you can't just take pedagogy means science of teaching. Please, you teachers, okay, in cosmopolitan cities, you must understand pedagogy, how it is connected to Industry 4.0 and SDG 4.0. Because Professor D.S. Kothari, the destiny of India, or destiny of the world is being shaped in the classroom. Destiny of the world is being shaped in the classroom. So the pedagogy is directly or indirectly connected to Industry 4.0 revolution and SDG 4.0. That's very important. That is the reason I am giving, importance to this pedagogy 4.0. You see, pedagogy 1.0, I think Dr. Malati beautifully explained already. I don't want to take much time. Lecture method and rote learning. Everywhere, the lecture method. Multi-sensory experience was not taken cognitions. So students sometimes were skeptical, speculative, because lecture method could not do that. So what happens? Now we could not sometimes make students to be critical thinkers. So lecture method, you see, even psychology of learning says 83% of learning takes place by seeing. Only 11% by hearing. So 83 plus 11, 94. Remaining 6% other senses. 83% by seeing. Therefore, you got to use modern technologies. You got to integrate ICT tools, information and communication technology tools, so that the learning will be maximum. 83%. That's what psychology of learning says out of its research. But lecture method can make only 11%. So what will happen to the remaining 89%? And Pedagogy 2.0, internet enabled learning. So happy that you are able to leverage internet. But still you could be challenging to elicit right information from the platform. Sometimes whatever information available in the internet is not correct, is not reliable, is not valid. So therefore, you need to understand the scholarship of the information that you download. So internet enabled learning. Pedagogy 3.0 embraces knowledge based education. What is knowledge based education? You are able to link your knowledge with different area of specialization. The knowledge of economics is linked with knowledge of science. Knowledge of mathematics is linked with robotics. So you are able to link your subject with a different area of specialization. And pedagogy 4 or education 4.0, the innovation based education. What is innovation based education? You must be able to provide alternatives. It's very important. What a beautiful innovation happens during the lockdown. Everybody was equipped to use online platform. They can just create Google Meet. They can invite their students to be part of it, to participate in it. So innovation means, as far as I am concerned, alternatives. Can you provide alternatives to your students? In every aspect you give them. In every aspect you deliver to them. So in that way you will have to think about it. You see, I still remember sometime you teach Macbeth, what is done cannot be undone. You teach King Lear about Cordelia. You teach about Desdemona in Othello. But students want the professor's viewpoint of view in Othello or Macbeth or Hamlet. So for which the innovation is very important. Perhaps you can just tell them the Shakespeare point of view, but students want your point of view, or you call the Miss Ilanangai's point of view. It is not an easy task. So she has to provide the alternatives. She need to explore alternatives, and she need to interpret it in different ways, so that she can just really be meaningful to the students. So education 4.0 and pedagogy 4.0, innovation based education. When you teach, the students have to be a constructivist. That is innovation. I'm going to talk about all those things, okay, for one time. Now, World Economic Forum. What are the core skills that are required? If at all you want to make your students job ready or entrepreneurs or competent, what is required? World Economic Forum came out with couple of abilities, basic skills, cross-functional skills. What are the abilities? You see, cognitive ability, physical ability. If I want to go deep into it, sometime it takes time, but I will present it in a brief and right manner. Cognitive ability, like you see your intellectual ability, how you understand the learning, how you are aware of your learning process. Cognitive ability. Physical ability, the physical strength, sometimes the dexterity, which is very important. Especially the dexterity in computer science, in the keyboard handling, the finger dexterity is very important. For precision, for ensuring the precision and accuracy. So these abilities, intellectual abilities and physical abilities. Basic skills like content skills and process skills. Perhaps content skills, the syllabus, what you teach, extra mileage, what you go, ICT literacy, information and communication technology literacy. The process skills, active listening is very important, active listening. Critical thinking, a thinking which is very much warranted. Critical thinking. Suppose you see tomato is a fruit, but tomato as a fruit cannot be mixed into fruit salad. Why? That is critical thinking. You must ask a lot of question on it and get solution out of it. And you would be able to evaluate the new information from the information what you have. That is critical thinking. Monitoring self and others. These are all process skills, the basic skills. And World Economic Forum suggests cross-functional skills, social skills, system skills, complex problem-solving skills, resource management skills, and technical skills equipment. These are all the skills that our pedagogy have to concentrate on it. Because the pedagogy, I want to design pedagogy, ultimately the learning outcomes. The learning outcomes must be achieved, reached by your students. So that way the pedagogy 4.0 is designed to achieve the learning outcomes of the students in terms of abilities, learning outcomes of the students in terms of abilities, basic skills and cross-functional skills, whatever you call. And right to connectivity and privacy, Holland IQ survey, a popular world-based edutech firm, conducted a survey. It says 91% of educational institutions say they will be worse through online education. For capitalizing on the relationship between students and teachers, not possible. No social interaction with students. Now you see you have muted your audio and video, and the students mute their audio and video, and teacher delivers goods. So therefore, Holland IQ says this is the case. And there was no other way to go. You have to use only online platform. So you need to integrate a pedagogy called a Mentimeter. Or now and then you can just ask questions to the students so that you can make students to be participating. So that is the reason I am just keeping you informed. And emotion matters, you see. Yale, a very famous university in the United States, Center for Emotional Intelligence, says 85% of the teachers reported that work-life imbalance was affecting their ability to teach. This is another scenario the pedagogical design has to consider. 85% of the teachers reported that work-life imbalance was affecting their ability to teach. So you have to address the imbalance that you come across, imbalance that you experience, which also matters. See, developing pedagogy is not an easy task. The emotion also is a matter of the fact. That's what I wanted to say. And a kind of Pentagon theory of learning. You see, whenever you think of designing a pedagogy, then you look at your learning intelligence is centered around the Pentagon of intelligence. That is economic intelligence, technological intelligence, social intelligence, cultural intelligence, political intelligence. All these things must be taken into account when you design a pedagogy. And I would like to throw a concept called the design compass. After all, pedagogy is meant for effective learning. I'm going to introduce different type of pedagogy, but still you must understand it's to ensure, the design compass. You see, there are different types of learning protocols or learning, what do you call, platforms or learning styles. Learning by listening. You are called instructionist. Learning by sharing. You are called connectivist. Learning by doing. Mahatma Gandhiji's philosophy. Constructivist. Learning by making. Constructionist. So you must understand this paradigm shift first of all. Sometimes pedagogy 1.0 cannot make your students to be constructionist. This is very important. Otherwise, what happens? The students learn a lot of things, but they don't live by what they learn from you. So your teaching will go in vain then, go waste. So learning by listening, learning by sharing, learning by doing, learning by making. From instructionist to constructionist, we have to make our students. So we need certain interactivity framework. You should understand the interactivity framework. That is, learner-learner interaction must happen effectively. Learner-learner interaction, teacher-learner interaction, learner-content interaction. So we have got to create a good interface among these three important components. And we need tools, places, and pace. Tools, I mean how learning occurs. We have to ascertain how learning occurs. Where learning occurs, that is place of learning. When learning occurs, that's very important. Now I am talking to you in the morning, right? Afternoon. Maybe by 3 o'clock, soon after your lunch. So we have to be challenging. The pace of learning, when learning occurs, is a matter of the fact. We are all teachers. We manage to listen to each other. So the mode of learning, the place of learning, and then the pace of learning, the speed of learning, when learning occurs, where learning occurs, how learning occurs will make you to understand the interactivity framework. Because after all, interaction is very important because you have to make your students constructionist or constructivist. So all learning by listening, learning by sharing, learning by making, learning by doing, all these things very important. So the pedagogy has to ensure. And I would like to introduce learning ecology. What is learning ecology? But unfortunately, we understand a shift from brick institution to click institution. Now we are in click institution, the Google Meet, but still there should not be any leakage in learning. It must happen properly. Whether it is on campus in class or physical classroom or virtual classroom, there should not be any leakage. The learning ecology says there must be acquisition of knowledge, there must be good participation in the work. So on campus in class, maybe the physical classroom, on campus in class, learning acquisition happens. And off campus in class, sometime off campus in class. You have, all the students are in class, but the teacher is in off campus. On campus, out of class. So both the teacher and two students, will be out of class, but still learning takes place. Off campus, out of class, sometime. So this is also another mode of learning. So whether it is physical or virtual, the leakage must be prevented. Effective learning must take place. In that way, pedagogy plays an important role. And look at 21st century learners. There will be a paradigm shift from central nervous system to digital nervous system. And Dr. Malati, madam, can I take another 10-15 minutes? Dr. Malati?
Sir, sure, sir, sure, sir.
Okay.
We are all, we cannot say, sir, because each and every word comes out from your mouth. It gives us happiness and benefits, sir.
Okay, thank you. And if you have any questions, perhaps, you can stop me at any time. Okay. Anyhow, I am going to give you time. I am going to give you time, but you can always stop me.
Yes,
So,
sir. Once
there
you
will be
finish question answer session,
okay. There will be a shift from digital central nervous system to digital nervous system. They can learn econometrics. If they learn botany, they can learn biotechnology or medical physics. That is self-determined learning. So a kind of pedagogy is to be understood. Pedagogy means co-learning or co-teaching. What is co-learning? Students of botany and students of chemistry together learn. Students of economics and students of management together learn. Co-learning, pedagogy. Students of Guru Nanak and students of Stanford University together learning. This is another concept, team thought. So the pedagogy is very important. This is another pedagogy. Always Guru Nanak students should not rely on only Guru Nanak teachers. They can even learn from teachers of Stanford or Princeton or Rice University or Monash University, Oxford University or Bharatidasan University too. So in that way, it is very important. We should not, my students should not rely on me. My student can learn from Revati, Dr. Revati, the vice principal of the institution, Dr. Sivasankar. My students can learn from Dr. Sivasankar. So this idea is very important. You can't just make your students learn only from you. The pedagogy, cybergogy, that is, they must learn even through online environment. For example, EDX, Swayam, Coursera, Udacity, Unacademy, Future Learn, Alison. So many platforms are there, powerful platform. Especially EDX, edX is the blend of the collaboration between Harvard and MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So in that way, slide is not changing. Dr. Revati says the slide is not changing. Is it changing now? Okay, Dr. Revati, is it changing,
Yes, sir,
ma'am?
it's changing, sir. It's changing, sir.
Okay, I have not changed. I have not changed actually. Okay. So cybergogy, that is cybergogy means, you know, the what do you call the MOOC platform, massive open online courses. They can even see that is why National Education Policy has introduced the concept called ABC, that is Academic Bank of Credits. They can earn the credits from other platforms, especially in the ADX and Coursera. They can listen to Nobel laureates. You know that Nobel laureates take class for the students, online platforms. So cybergogy, that's very important. And another important thing, the critical pedagogy will address the hidden curriculum. Formal curriculum only we concentrate. That is what is taught. The teacher will deliver goods. That is what is taught. Deliver the syllabus. But you see, what is learned is more important. The hidden curriculum. You know, Michael Angelo. Rani, Miss Rani, please mute your platform. Okay, even if you don't listen to me, no problem. You see, the hidden curriculum says what is learned is more important. What is learned is more important, the hidden curriculum. Because what is learned would help me to rise up to the expectations. So in that way, the formal curriculum and hidden curriculum must be understood. And 21st century education, where your knowledge, you must be able to connect your traditional knowledge into modern knowledge, as I have already reiterated. Traditional knowledge into modern knowledge. Your economics into industry. Your mathematics into robotics. Your physics into biomedical science. That is the reason now you see medical physics. There is a concept called medical physics. So, traditional knowledge must be linked to modern knowledge. If you keep on using your pedagogy, delivering traditional knowledge like mathematics and chemistry, your students will not be able to connect themselves with modern world. That's very important. And you need to address the skills of the students, especially creativity, critical thinking, communication, collaboration. These skills in turn will give them to to represent the knowledge what they have. And the character, resilient, ethics, curiosity, teamwork, leadership, mindfulness. This is the character. So this character also is very important. Whatever it may be, even the lockdown, we had a good rhythm. We continue to have our rhythm in getting in touch with the students. So you are resilient. Now you see Dr. Malati is resilient. You know, she is organizing the faculty development program even through the lockdown period. So you can't be fed up with any scenario. Whatever it happens around you, you continue to have your rhythm. That is very, very important for us. So in that way, the metacognition. What is metacognition? The teacher must be active and reflective. Metacognition means it's awareness of the learning gaps. Why the gaps? How can I fill the gaps? I have to reflect upon. So these things are very important to address the capacities of 21st century education. Knowledge, linking traditional knowledge into modern knowledge, skills, character, and metacognition. Therefore, we need a fusion education. We need to we need to cultivate a creative talent through fusion education. What is fusion education? Lecture method, demonstration method, technical education, integrating ICT tools online platform, inviting foreign students and interact with our students. We call fusion education. The fusion education through digital learning. Augmented reality is a fusion education. Sometimes they can have virtual platform. For example, virtual tour. You know, virtual tour means what? Like you see, you can go to America or Europe virtually. Virtual tour is there. You see, another important thing, example, digital alternatives. Now, animals should not be killed for the experimentation. Your frog cannot be killed. Your Periplaneta americana, what do you call it? Cockroach cannot be killed. So, digital alternatives. You have to prepare digital frog and digital cockroach. So, that is fusion education. So, what is important? 7Q and 7C. What is 7Q? Intelligent quotients, emotional quotients, mental quotients, general quotients, digital quotients, people quotients, cultural quotient. All the 7 quotients. Look at 7C, creativity, communication, critical thinking, collaboration, character, citizenship, and copyright. For want of time. Now, diversification of digital learning in the 4th industrial revolution era, a mixed teaching learning in higher education must happen. Maybe smart learning, flipped learning, collaborative learning, social learning, emotional learning, measuring learning, phenomenon learning. These are all the pedagogy 4.0 that you have to integrate in your classroom. Smart learning, flipped learning, collaborative learning, hybrid learning. And I have developed a certain model, that is articulation and idea fixation model, AIF model, which is developed by me. Open-ended discussions, joint problem solving. I have been suggesting joint PhD. A PhD work can be done by 4 or 5 PhD scholars. Why every PhD scholar has to concentrate only one problem? One problem is concentrated by 5 research scholars, 5 different domains: economics, chemistry, physics, mathematics, even English. 5 faculty research scholars can do analyze a problem, and that will be a dramatic solution to the society which encounters a problem. Joint problem solving, experience based learning, conflict management. These are all articulation and idea fixation. And I would like to suggest hybrid model. What is hybrid model? Synchronous and asynchronous experiences. Theory and blend of theory and practice, face to face and online. Hands on, online hands on, lab to land. Whatever they do it in the lab, lab to land. So a hybrid model I would like to introduce. Fully online law model, that's what I have given you. Udemy, Khan Academy, EDX, Udacity, Coursera, Code Academy, Allison, EDX, Future Learn. So many platforms are there, fully online model, where your students can be encouraged to pursue certificate courses, to have transfer of credits in the choice-based credit system. And the digital classroom in the philosophy is 3E: enabled, engaged, empowered. Okay. So I don't have time, otherwise, see, flipped classroom. Now instead of regular classroom, the flipped classroom, you direct resources to the students. The teacher direct resources to the students. Students come prepared to the classroom. Then students are divided into different small groups. They exchange their ideas, and then they come and sit in front of the teacher. Now the teacher job is to provide these to them. They have already come prepared, and the teacher has to provide extra mileage to them. And the teacher will create a power of interaction, because all the students come prepared. to your class. So this is how flipped classroom is very successful. Google Classroom, you might be using it. Microsoft Teams, hot potatoes is another beautiful platform. Can be taken as a pedagogy 4.0, where you can conduct quiz, crossword, mixed, jumbled sentence, match the following. Whatever the way you want to organize, these are all open sources. And part of Moodle, modular, object-oriented dynamic learning environment. So all these things, okay, can be used. Forms of e-content, short learning object and modules. So these are all the parts of ICT tools that can be taken cognitions in your pedagogical development, so-called pedagogy 4.0, to address the industry 4.0. So these are the things which I would like to share with you, friends. To conclude, I think we should understand what is happening around us. We are in the era of fourth industry revolution, and we have got a very big responsibility to address it. SDG 4.0, Sustainable Development Goals 4.0, and we have to groom our youngsters to address our national goals and international goals, and we have to prepare our students for the future. So that is the legacy. The pedagogy is the legacy that we leave it to our youngsters to build Atman-Nirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India. And you teacher can definitely do it because you are all young teachers. There is a beautiful saying, young mind achieves what it believes. Young mind achieves what it believes. But still we have got to walk extra mileage, as Robert Frost says, the woods are lovely, deep and dark. I have promises to keep. I have miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. Therefore, to attain lifelong learning, that way our economy will be incremental and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam dream will come true. We will become superpower country. Okay? So this is an idea. The superpower country can be produced only by teachers because you deal with youngsters. If teachers think they can do it, definitely they can do it. Thank you very much for the opportunity given unto me. My sincere thanks are due to Dr. Malati especially, who has been in touch, and thank Guru Nanak College management, the principal, vice principal, and secretary or chairman, who has extended me a very good opportunity to be part of international faculty development. Now it is your turn to ask me questions. Thank you. Yes. Now your question, maybe for asking question, perhaps you can now unmute your audio or video. Perhaps you can just ask me questions, or you can just educate me. Okay, like adding further information. I'm sorry, I think I have written.
Ilanandi ma'am.
Dear participants, now the floor is open for questions. And if you're not able to ask the questions, and you can also post it in the chat box.
They are able to not. They are able to ask me questions. No problem.
If they have any problem in the mic, sir, that's what I meant.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody is thanking me. They don't want us.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
I am Dr. S.K. Prakash from the college. I am from the economics department.
Thank you.
Yes, it's very nice to hear you, sir. I like to hear your talk. I mean, lecture very often. I am really benefited from your lecture. So my suggestion, or rather, my my view is to bring the education to our age-old, ancient strength. What is required at this point of time is give reservation for the in the employment based on education. The education-based reservation, I think it will work well, so that students will start seriously looking for. They will learn their subject well. If you don't give reservation based on education, rather we go by. So that is a very important thing which we have to do now. Suppose there are so many students who have done BCom. So if you give reservation to students who have done BCom for accounting job, they will do their accounting very seriously. So that will add on to the 4.0 mode of education also. So what is the need of the hour is education-based reservation, not based on caste, creed, and other things. So that will help us to fine-tune our education system. The seriousness will be brought back. So that is what I feel, sir.
I fully agree with you, sir. Actually, our country is known for unity in diversity. But fortunately, we have got the diversity. And we need to address the diversity also, because, the rulers have to address the diversity also. And I think sir has given me impetus, to keep you informed of the various dimensions of curriculum, especially. I would like to be very brief. I don't want to take your time. Number one is vocational pathway. See, this is missing actually. Sometimes our students, we keep knowingly or unknowingly, we keep our students in dark. Sometimes they do not know after BCom what are all the job opportunities I can get into. Vocational pathway. And another important thing, the professional pathway. That is, if I want to get into 20 jobs opportunities, how many proficiency set I have to acquire, possess. For example, 50 skills, but they are totally unaware of it. And the institution may not be able to concentrate all the 50 skills. Perhaps you can just tell them 3-year period, we will give you 30 skills, and 20 skills you have to get it out there in the world. But education reservation, I think, is very sensitive. But still, India is known for its diversity. India is known for its diversity. I think we'll have to address the diversity also. And but even then, we are able to prove ourselves. We prove to the world. I tell you, India proves to the world, and that is the reason our youngsters, are able to address the global demands, especially our startup. India is the third largest startup in the world. Our startup, and so that our economy is incremental. So nothing wrong, okay, if the reservation is taken. But only thing is we'll have to channelize and we have to groom it. Okay, I fully agree with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So there are two questions posted in the chat box, sir. Can I read it
Chat
out,
box.
sir?
Yeah, please. I can also go through. Yes.
So the first one is Sustainable Development Goal 4 is the education goal, and it aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. What are the challenges in India to attain the goal before 2030, and how can we overcome it?
Yeah. See, the thing is, you see, now the sustainable development goals already we started addressing. For example, no hunger. Okay, no hunger. Sometimes, I think if you want me to come down to you, I would say now, the beggars are very less as far as my knowledge is concerned. So we are at it. India is at it. But the challenge is, I think, very important question Arul Kamalraj has asked me. See, the very challenge is dynamic, motivated teachers. If you are broad-minded to take me, dynamic and motivated faculty members who will address the inclusive growth, who will sometime, address the diversity. The great leadership, if you want me great leadership, the leadership must have ability to address the diversity and talents. Diversity and talents. I think the economics professor also asked me a question. And this question is also a very important question. So the very challenge is motivated and dynamic faculty members who can have the ability to address the diversity and talents in terms of their initiatives. What are the initiatives? Teaching, research, extension, and technology development. I am sure India will be able to address all 17 goals, will be able to achieve. But teachers play a very, that is why I remembered, the great saying of Mrs. Indira Gandhi ji, if I am asked to hand over this country, I will hand it over to a teacher. And another important task, see why motivated faculty. Alvin Toffler, the great American writer, Alvin Toffler says, illiterates are not those who cannot read and write in the 21st century, but those who cannot learn, relearn, unlearn. This is another challenge. Alvin Toffler, the 21st century education, illiterates are not those who cannot read and write, those who cannot learn, relearn and unlearn. This is another challenge. One challenge is leadership, one challenge is motivated faculty members, one challenge is learning, relearning, unlearning. That's very important. But how many of us are prepared to unlearn? That's the problem actually. That is why we cut a sorry face. Sometimes the news, whenever I come across the news, teachers, take wrong footing. Being a role model, having been a role model, how can you take wrong footing? I don't understand. So unlearning is also part of our learning. These are the challenges. I think 3 important challenges that we have to have. And our initiatives must have social connect. This is the 4th challenge. I have given 4 challenges at least. If we attain, if we are conscious of 4 challenges, I'm sure we would be able to achieve the 17 goals of SDG. Very good question by Arul Kamaraj. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I
Yes,
think
yeah.
there's one more question, sir. I think you've answered to the second question also, but anyways, I'll just read it out, sir. So many European countries are going ahead their journey from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0. Industry 5.0 focus on importance of research and innovation to support the industry in its long-term service to humanity within planetary boundaries. What are the innovations to be introduced in the curriculum fulfill the future expectation of Industry 5.0?
Only thing is we have to understand, we have to coexist with, we have to understand the characters of industries and coexist with industries. That is the reason UGC has been insisting all higher education institutions to establish industry institute connect or industry institute clusters. See, many times industries are fed up with academia and they sometimes go to premier institutes like IIT, IIM. They don't come to classical institutes. The reason is we don't coexist with industry. Sometimes we misunderstand industry. Industry people are money minded. They just take our idea and make money out of it. What is wrong when they make money out of it? After all, they are the end users to take the product to the people. And they are funding and they are the taxpayers. Because of them, the economy is incremental. So let us have a cordial relationship with the industry and we try to find out the industry. This is happening in Industry 5.0 in European countries. They coexist with industry. You can't find any institution without industry connect. But here you see all the institutions, 90% of the institutions do not have industry connect at all. Industry means not industry alone, maybe organization or institutions. And we don't have institution connect and industry connect. So that is the reason we don't want to focus on industry 5.0, but 4.0. At least let us try to be aware of what is happening in 4.0. What are the expectations of 4.0? At least you prepare your students for it. And they can self-study the industry 5.0 and they can rise up to the occasion.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions?
Good evening, sir. I'm audible,
Ulaganathan.
sir? Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you are audible.
My name is Ulaganathan, sir, from
Yeah.
Department of Economics. Actually, I very enjoyed it, sir. Very beautiful session, sir. I
Thank
got
you.
more information, sir, from your lecture. I have received one ICS project. The title
Very
is
good.
on access to ICT tool by school children. Okay, sir. When I was prepared the proposal, I have observed some of studies, sir. Most of the schools don't have the Wi-Fi and the internet connections facilities in India, and also the 60% of students don't have access the facilities. So you said, as you said now, 1.0 to 4.0, the revolution in industry. How it is possible, sir? Because we have already pathetic condition in the international connection of so many institutions, as well as the colleges. So as compared with China, we are also developing countries. After COVID only, we are little bit increased. So next, what we'll do, I don't know, sir, because already.
Don't worry, I have a solution for you. Don't worry.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I will give you a solution. Don't worry.
Okay.
See,
Okay. Thank you.
internet connectivity is not required at all. See, what is the role of the teacher? You create repository of the offline resources and pass it on your students. That's what we have been doing. We have the knowledge repository. We package the knowledge, prepare resources, and give it to them. So maybe they don't need any internet if they have system. Even if they don't have system, the other alternatives are there. Perhaps you can just prepare the entire resources and give it to them. So that is the reason normally we call open resource. For example, e-contents. The electronic contents, you can just prepare it and package it. And that package can be sent it through post even to your students. And students can have a lively learning. In that way, a lot of alternatives are there. Though suppose 40% you have internet facility, you have different pedagogy. And the same pedagogy can be enjoyed by the people, those who do not have internet. That is offline resources. So you can prepare offline resources and give it to them. Now you see almost everybody has one mobile phone at least, or television, or a small system. You see, our Tamil Nadu is known for giving laptop to the children, free laptops to the children, especially higher secondary students. So don't you think they don't have laptop? Leave alone internet. You package and send it to them. They can use their laptops, and whatever you can do it through online, they can learn it through offline. Certainly it is possible. And you see, our Prime Minister Ji has taken a lot of initiatives. Even Mr. Sundar Pichai came down to invest to rectify this problem. And they wanted to they wanted to provide internet facilities for rural population. So that problem will be rectified within a short span of time. But still we have alternatives. See, simple example I tell you, during the lockdown, we had a couple of students from rural village and they don't have connectivity at all. You know how we taught? Through teleconferencing. The telephone, okay, video, telephone conferencing mode, I connect them, I teach them. Whatever the question when they ask me. And they are fully satisfied. Likewise, we love to explore alternatives. That's very important. I think Mr. Velachery asked me a very important question, but still we have alternatives.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the valuable information showered in abundance, enlightening us with the need to keep abreast of the knowledge of the subject and the current scenario pertaining to pedagogy for the benefit of the student community. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Being thankful and expressing gratitude is an important part of being happy and successful in one's life. With that note, may I invite Dr. Jesu Arul Christula, Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, to propose the vote of thanks. Please, ma'am.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for the 4th day session of 5-day International Faculty Development Program conducted by the School of Humanities, Guru Nanak College. I, on behalf of the School of Humanities, Guru Nanak College, first thank the speaker of the 4th day session, Dr. E. Ram Ganesh, for his wonderful talk on paradigm shift from pedagogy 1.0 to pedagogy 4.0, addressing industries 4.0. Thank you so much, sir, for having enlightened the minds of all the faculty members with the valuable thoughts. A special thanks to our General Secretary, sir, Dynamic Principal, sir, Advisor, Madam, Vice Principal of Shift 1 and 2 for their encouragement and support. And also, I take this nice opportunity to thank Dean Academics, IKC Coordinator, Deans of various schools, HODs, and faculty members of Guru Nanak College and other colleges for their active participation. Thank you, sir.
Ilanande, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
madam. Thank you.
Dear participants, the feedback link is available in the chat box. Kindly fill this up to receive the certificates.
Sir, thank you very much, sir.
I thank all the learned fraternities of Guru Nanak College and other city colleges for the active participation and making this event a great happening. I welcome each and every one of you for yet another interesting and informative session on the final day, that is on 1st April 2022, and make it a great success. Thank you and welcome you all once again. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ilanande, ma'am. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for participating. Thanks a lot.
From Patna, Bihar, ma'am.
I couldn't get you. Yes.
From Patna, Bihar, ma'am.
Oh, you're from Patna. So nice of you. So nice of you. How do you feel? How do you feel, sir? This FDP?
हिंदी लैंग्वेज में बात कर सकता हूँ मैम.
Can you talk in English?
कुछ परेशानियां होती हैं.
Can you talk in English?
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Very good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes,
please share the feedback link again. Sorry, I could not find the feedback link
Sure.
in the chat.
Sure, sir.
Please,
Sure.
ma'am, please. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Ma'am, next webinar tomorrow.
Tomorrow is the last webinar. Tomorrow it's going to end.
Ma'am,
So,
please
yes,
contact number, ma'am.
98406. 98406
406
73
73
75
75
0.
0.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. WhatsApp contact, ma'am.
Yes. Same thing. WhatsApp also.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you.
Nice, wonderful session, ma'am. Nice, wonderful session.
Okay, you can leave, ma'am.
Yes, sir. We can leave, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.